Disney movies hold the secret to living a regret-free life, and I'm about to share the most powerful lessons you can learn from them. Join me as I dive into Disney movies to uncover the life lessons we all need to learn in our youth to avoid those big regrets later on. Okay, before we start, I have a question for you. Do you think you'll ever regret something you didn't do? Maybe moving to a new city, or trying out for the football team, or asking that girl out on a date? Now, don't think too hard about it. Give me the first thing that comes to your mind. A recent study by YouGov asked 6,000 Americans over the age of 55 what their biggest regret in life was. The results might surprise you. 34% of them said that their greatest regret in life was not taking more risks when they were younger. You see, this is how life works. We spend our entire lives trying to make decisions that will benefit us in the long run, right? But sometimes those big, scary decisions are also the ones that cause us the most stress and anxiety. So we end up procrastinating or doing something else instead. As a kid, we are constantly being told to be brave, to explore, to be curious, to take risks. But somewhere along the way, we grow up, and suddenly we are afraid of making the wrong decision. As we get older, we start taking life more seriously, and as a result, we end up taking fewer risks and chasing fewer dreams than we should. When we are kids, we want to be astronauts, firefighters, artists, and explorer. But as we get older, those dreams slowly fade away as we worry about what other people would think if we pursued them.
Dad.
And we end up going down a path that seems more realistic, safer, less painful. But then when we get old, when we are at the end of our lives, most of us will look back and wonder, what if? What if I had actually tried? What if I had chased that dream job? What if I had traveled the world? What if I had expressed myself? What if I had done what I wanted to do when I was younger? Now here's where Disney comes in, because as it turns out, there are actually dozens of life lessons hidden inside their movies. In today's video, we talk about some of the most important things we can learn from Disney movies, and why it's so important to learn them as soon as possible. Hey guys, it's me. Welcome to our channel, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. So let's begin with The Lion King. Now I know this movie has been out for over 20 years, but that doesn't mean it's any less relevant today. Most of us have heard of the circle of life at this point. Might have even seen the Elton John music video. But let's be honest, do you really understand what it means? Simba's uncle Scar wants to become king, but he knows that Simba is next in line. So he orchestrates a plan that kills Simba's parents and convinces Simba that it was his fault. For the rest of the movie, Simba runs away from his past and tries to forget that he's even a lion. But eventually he learns the truth and has to fight his uncle to reclaim his birthright. This is a perfect example of how everything in life is interconnected. Nothing happens in isolation. Every action has a consequence, and no matter what happens, you must play your part. Life isn't always fair, and sometimes you might get dealt a bad hand. But the sooner you accept what you cannot change, the sooner you can focus on what you can control. Eventually, Simba learns this lesson and goes on to defeat his uncle and bring balance back to the circle of life. Next is Frozen, one of my all-time favorite films. When Elsa accidentally reveals her ice powers to everyone in Arendelle, she becomes afraid of hurting someone and isolates herself in her own castle. Her sister Anna sets off on a journey alongside an Iceman, his reindeer, and a snowman to find Elsa and bring her back. Together, they learn the true meaning of love and family. I could probably talk about Frozen for hours because there are so many amazing messages in this movie. But for the sake of time, I'm going to focus on just one. Don't be afraid of who you are. We all have unique qualities that make us different, but sometimes we feel ashamed about them. That's what happens with Elsa. She feels afraid and guilty for having magical powers. But once she embraces who she truly is, she is able to use her gifts to help others. Being yourself is what makes you special. It's what allows you to stand out and achieve great things. So don't be afraid of who you are. Be proud of it, because in the words of Elsa, the only thing that matters in life is the love we share. Up next is Mona, the daughter of the chief of a Polynesian tribe, who sets sail on a daring mission to save her people. During her journey, Mona meets the demigod Maui, and together they restore the heart of Te Feti, an island goddess whose heart was stolen by the selfish Te Ka. If you've watched the movie, you'll know that Mona's people are stuck in a never-ending cycle of darkness, and they can't seem to get out of it. But Mona refuses to accept this. She wants more for herself and her people. So she sets off on a journey to find Maui and ask him to help her. But Maui refuses at first because he's ashamed of his past. He lost his magical fishhook, which gave him his powers, and he feels like he's not worthy of being a hero anymore. But Mona convinces him to come with her anyway, and they end up restoring the island goddess and bringing light back to Mona's island. The moral of this story is don't dwell in the past. Let go of your mistakes and focus on the present moment. Don't just go through the motions. Make every second count. And finally, we come to the last movie on our list, Toy Story. Now, I could choose any number of iconic moments from this movie because there are so many of them. But I want to focus on the scene where Woody almost gets left behind. When the family moves to the new house, Woody is Andy's favorite toy, but he starts to feel useless when Andy gets a new toy named Buzz Lightyear. Things get worse when the toys accidentally get transported to a yard sale, and Woody almost gets sold to a new kid. But in the end, Buzz sacrifices himself to save Woody and the rest of the toys. They end up returning to Andy's room where they discover a box of old toys that Andy's mother wants to donate. And although it's sad to see the old toys go, they realize that it's part of the cycle of life. One day, Andy will outgrow his toys and donate them to younger kids. But until then, they will continue to be his best friends forever. This is a very powerful scene because it teaches us the importance of friendship and loyalty. No matter what happens in life, as long as you have your friends and family by your side, you will never be alone. These relationships are what make life worth living, so cherish them while you can. We're all taught life lessons growing up, but it's hard to remember what they were, and even harder to apply them to your everyday life. Movies like The Lion King, Frozen, Mona, and Toy Story teach us valuable lessons that we need to hear again and again. These are timeless stories that will never get old. There are countless other lessons we could talk about, but I'm going to summarize the main points from today's video. Never stop exploring. Take risks. Be yourself. Don't dwell in the past and cherish your friendships. Remember, you're young only once. If you waste your youth chasing other people's dreams, you might regret it later in life. If you enjoyed today's video, I want to suggest another video that I think you'll like. It's called These 30 Rules Can Change Your Life, and you can watch it here. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, remember that you're awesome.